Hey everybody, I just have a small self reflection, less a finished product, more just perspectives, unfinished perspectives, a work in progress. So I was just thinking about when I was walking that I don't grieve anyone who I ever got to know. I don't grieve any person that I got to know that I have lost because I feel I have control over this, meaning I choose who I want to have contact with and who not. And there is not a person where I would say this is kind of a soulmate or such a significant person that I need, but for some reason we lost each other for some reason. So for me, I have this strong realistic connection, meaning for me, if something happens and I divide from friends or any kind of relationship, really, parental, friend, lover, if we go separate ways, is for a reason, and I don't grieve for that. Um, I was also thinking, which is a different thought, the only thing that I might grieve is that I never started a professional fighting career. But it's of course a little bit dreaming because I think it would fit me. I grieve it more than not having learned an instrument or making music because I think I would be the type to train all day and live the philosophy also. And I would like to have this hierarchy, this clear hierarchy and respect amongst fighters where it's clear. We go in that cage and then we fight and we find out who's the winner and who not, and that's a very true hierarchy. It's not this superficial, strange hierarchy of today's world, which is very ambiguous and often it's strange, it's unreal, like manipulative people and all of this can can believe they are in some way up in the hierarchy. I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm not into this. I would like this clear hierarchy. I would like it. I would like to get the respect and give respect where respect is deserved. And I would be the type of guy who could train very hard and live a Spartan life, a very simple life, just to do this. But it's just because I was thinking, what do I grieve? Um, and about friends, I think real friends I have a connection to no matter what. Communication would be good, more communication, because sometimes I regret things I do. Sometimes I might have, you know, I have many weaknesses, like I'm not good at planning. Sometimes I get dates and times very wrong, and this leads to confusion. Or my humor is special. I can laugh about myself and about others. I can talk very deep and cling on to things that people might rather like to keep buried or not talk about. Um, so this is why sometimes I feel like maybe I I hurt the person, and then when we not talk anymore or not talk for a long time, I think, oh, I hope everything is all right. But yeah, I also think the type of person that I would like, you know, it's not easy to find a person that has a certain sense of humor, that is not sadistic, definitely, or and not, I like people who have. I think one of the most important things for me is hygiene in all areas, especially mental and psychological hygiene. People who are very centered in themselves, self assured, so they don't need to prove or compete or easily feel hurt. And people who can have an extreme opinion, but also accept my extreme opinion. And it doesn't mean we have now to solve a problem. It's not about that with friends. A friend can have any, not any, but you know what I'm saying? They need to have a very subtle taste and feeling for what is the core and what not, and it need to be aligned with my idea of it too in some way. Yeah, and it's also more than that. Yeah, I like it when people can navigate conversations also and have boundaries so that I can go into deep and then they don't, you know, they don't get uncomfortable through that or can maneuver. No, yeah, stuff like that. But it's very seldom to meet someone like that. Um, Another random fragment was I was thinking what I would do when I would have won, if I would win a lot of money. So I might, be tempted to buy a fast car, run around with sunglasses, and be very cool and detached and choose who I want to talk to and ignore or cut off in a very kind and nice way, polite way, everybody who I'm not so interested in. And this would lead me to only accept people who reflect back my own self image, my grandiose self image. So it's easy to get lost in narcissistic delusion when you're in these circles, when you live this life. So having power in terms of, or supply in terms of, you live your own life, you don't have to interact with others, is a huge temptation to use narcissistic defenses. This is why in poor countries or in tribal societies there was almost no narcissism, because you're forced together, you share a reality, you have consensus, and you get reality checks from everybody immediately. Um, People help each other, people communicate, people know each other. And as soon as we have this atomized society model with everybody living in their own bubble and don't need others to survive, narcissism takes over. And if I would do this, I buy this fast car, I run around very cool, start to drink the espresso again, chilling out in the hip places, and choose who I want to talk to. And it's only those who reflect back that image, whatever I want to craft around me, whether I'm a person that is very, improving the world, I'm in charity organizations, or I'm so intelligent, and or I have such a good team, I have these people under me, I have such a good team, whatever it would be, or I speak just about how great I am. I would give up on myself if I do this. This would mean give up on myself, on who I really are. On the other hand, if I would say, you know what, I go somewhere uh, out of society, I buy a huge piece of land, or I go into another country, into nature, and I live a withdrawn life there, this would mean to give up on the world and on people, on mankind, and this would breed another form, or the danger of another form of narcissism, because I would become self-righteous, because I'm doing it better, I'm so self-reliant, and I would easily drift away in a fantasy like that. So there's narcissism wherever we go. The socialized version of narcissism, when you're in the circles, where you choose who mirrors back your self image or grandiosity, or when you withdraw from it and you live your own secluded life, is both narcissism and can easily evolve. So wherever you go, we know narcissism is a swamp. Yeah, these are just unfinished thoughts. So I don't have a solution for this. Yeah, I think the beautiful struggle is not a concept of me. It means we struggle and we're involved in life and in mankind is an important part. But I also created a small saying in my mind, which is, if you lose the love to humanity, to mankind, and maintain only love to yourself and a few selected people, it means that you lose, that one of the biggest burdens is being taken away from your shoulders. So the love to all humans, all humanity is a huge burden. And I don't know whether I have lost belief in humanity. I don't think so. Especially when I see young people, children, then there is hope. But it's a burden to believe in mankind. It's a burden. Yeah. So I just wanted to share this. It's just some self-reflections going on. I was also thinking about being alone and about partnership, about intimacy. These are topics, right? I think to find a person who I said it in the beginning of this video. For me, hygiene is very important. A hygienic person, and a person that would like me for who I am, not for what I have, or for how manipulative I am, or how grandiose my self-image is, but who I am. And this is intimacy. Intimacy means a person sees me and I let the person see me. And I do the same for this person, and there is trust. I think at the moment it would be very hard for someone to get my trust. It would be very hard. I don't fall in love anymore the same way. I don't even, if I now start to think about whether in my real life there is not someone who is, you know, on my mind, coming on my mind when I think about this. Yeah, these are all fragments of thoughts, unfinished reflections. All right, maybe I just can inspire someone. Maybe you can relate to the thoughts and you finish them for yourself. All right, thank you for watching and see you in the next video.